with the Good evening and welcome to the City of Farmers Branch Planning and Zoning Commission study session. It is 6:30 p.m. on September 9th, 2024. I'd like to begin by thanking the commissioners for your service. and point out the obvious, that I'm not Chairperson Raley. I'm substituting for her today. And coincidentally, we will begin with item A1, discussion of regular agenda items. And first up is C1, nomination and election of the chair and vice chair of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and take appropriate action. Knowing that Chair Raley was not going to be here, I reached out to her, and basically her response was that if somebody else wanted to serve, she would be fine with that, but she was also, open to continuing as chair. And so just open to the commissioners. Any thoughts? Anybody want to put any other names forward for the chair role?
I put forward Amber's name.
Okay. Okay. And this right here, so with the official vote will happen down in the actual session, but it sounds like that's easy and unanimous. Then the second would be vice chair.
Do we have to take a formal vote on this?
Not here.
He's saying
We will at the
at the
regular
second.
session. That'll be the first agenda item. Then the second would be the vice chair. I would certainly be willing to put my name forward, and anybody else welcome to throw their hat in as well.
I would like to throw Marcus's name in.
Okay, thank you, sir.
If you want it, you got it.
All right. Okay.
Thank you for being willing to take it.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely.
very
yeah.
good.
Okay, that's too easy. All right, there we go. Okay, then we can move on. Up next is item C2, consider approval of the August 12th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission minutes and take appropriate action. Commissioners, any discussions, any changes? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to item C3. Consider the request for replat approval of Mercer Crossing Townhomes, Block B through E, for approximately 6.28 acres of land located at the southeast corner of Whittington Place and Chartwell Crest, and take appropriate action. So who will be presenting this?
I will, sir.
Okay,
So commissioners, if you have any questions, I'm happy to field those now. Otherwise, we can take them downstairs. So with this replat, the applicant is proposing to dedicate the necessary easements for townhome development for that property.
And they're also transferring some of the land in that lot to the city to be used as Mercer.
Yes, so there is, actually, it might be easier if I pull it up here on my computer.
Or is that a totally independent issue from the plan?
Independent.
It's independent, but if you'll bear with me just a moment, because I know exactly what you're talking about.
And just while Brian's pulling it up, the subject of this plat is only the townhome property itself. There are other lots that are platted and intended for Mercer Park, but those will be conveyed separately.
So I believe you're referring to this sliver of property here to the east. So that, as well as what's down here and what's over here
Right.
is currently, yeah, so that's currently owned by the applicant. However, ownership will be transferred to the city eventually for the dedication of Mercer City Park.
Is that going to be part of the park?
Yes, sir.
All those, that L shape or
Yes, so
around it and
all
then
of
the cutout.
this, and then this cutout right here. Yes, sir.
Has anyone brought forward any elevations to see what they may look like in the future?
Yes, so we did have a detailed site plan for this development that was approved back in 2022. I can't get into the specifics at this meeting, but I'm happy to share that information with the commissioners outside of the meeting. Elevations were included with that detailed site plan.
Do you know if they're going to be 2-story or 3-story? Just-
I believe they're going to be 2-story. I do have one slide I can share.
Okay, that's,
Yeah,
okay.
they're going to be 2-story.
And again, these were previously approved. The only item being considered tonight is the plat.
Yes.
Go back to the actual plat. if you mind.
Oh, of course.
Um,
Oh. Sorry. There we go.
Counting from the left, Unit 9, in an earlier design, that was a vacant section between two buildings, and now it's kind of a trapezoidal shaped townhome. Am I reading that correctly?
Right, so this property was platted once before, so I believe what you're referring to was part of that initial plat. So this is essentially a second replat, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Brian, if you could flip to the detailed site plan, I think there is still a break between those buildings.
Sure.
Yeah, I just kind of, the lot shape is a little weird there.
Yeah.
So that's what I was confused about, because that shows a break between the buildings there. And the other image shows that there is no break, and that funny corner there is part
Right.
of the adjacent unit.
There's still a break between the units, it's just that break is on the townhome lot itself, it's not a common area lot.
Mhm.
Okay.
So there will still be a separation.
And the front doors of all those units on the north side will face Whittington Place.
Yes, sir.
The only other thought I had is that last unit, all the way in the end.
This one?
Yeah, that unit. He's gonna have double of the time getting in and out of his garage. Because there's a wrought iron fence right there at the end, so he can only back out of his garage, back down that street till the next opening to make it through.
So is that the original one and the one we have is the update?
This is the
Yep.
site plan, so it shows all of the buildings and the trails and all of the detail. The plat is just creating the boundaries for each individual lot, so it matches exactly this layout.
Yes.
So it could be a cul-de-sac.
There's not a cul-de-sac.
Well, I
just drove there on my way here today.
I wonder if there's enough room.
There should be a little bit of space for them to back out. I have to go and
He can-
look at it, but
Maybe.
I mean, this
It's gonna be really
Conceivably, there's a little bit of space to the right unless it's a fence there.
nice. No,
But
there-
on this drawing, it's
it
just
might be
straight.
Maybe a few feet, because there's a 10-foot easement between the front of the units and the sidewalk.
Maybe the guy will be there tonight.
The applicant
I
will
mean,
be present.
It was just more of a curiosity, really. It's legal, so.
Sure. We will have the applicant there to
But
address
otherwise,
any
it's a nice unit,
questions.
because it has windows facing the other lake that's right there on the right of it.
Yeah.
any other questions on the
questions?
plat itself?
Okay, very good.
Good.
All right. Up next is item D1, conduct a public hearing and consider the request for a zoning amendment for a private school, primary and secondary, on approximately 2.79 acres located at 4,000 McEwen Road within the Planned Development District 90, otherwise known as PD 90, zoning district, and take appropriate action. Lily, you'll be presenting? Okay. Commissioners?
So do we know what kind of school, the name of the school? Are we gonna hear all that? Is it a secret?
Well, there was a letter in the packet, it's from the Presbyterian,
Preston Hollow Presbyterian.
Preston Hollow Presbyterian. It's for the developmentally challenged
Students
students.
with learning disabilities
learning
to go
disabilities.
on a temporary basis and then to be put back into the public system once they've,
It's K through 8.
they're planning on full scale to be K through 8. I believe the applicant will be here to answer a little bit more, but I believe they're starting with the phase 1 of just being pre-K through elementary school.
Yeah, the application says K through 6. Do you know the attendance of the school, what that's ultimately planned to be?
The ultimate total student count is approximately 185 students.
Okay.
Right now, it's about 120.
We're at pre-K through sixth grade right now.
Okay.
Currently sixth grade, fifth grade and sixth grade only have like one class each, about 12 kids. There's about 10 to 12 kids per
And
class.
so are you the applicant?
I'm a parent
Okay.
and I'm with the applicant, yes.
Okay, so this is not actually a public hearing right now, but we would, she'll save the answers into the actual,
Okay.
into the actual, yeah, no, it'd be great. No, you're absolutely
We've got
welcome to be
the-
here.
Yeah, we have a director and architect and everybody.
Excellent.
Everybody here,
Excellent.
and a board member.
Other comments or questions for Lily?
It's right by the DoubleTree.
Yeah, it's right behind the double tree.
Yeah.
You know, do
Yeah,
all of the
your-
grades
threw me
start
off
at the
'cause
same
it's-
time?
Actually, if you wouldn't mind, if you could
Okay.
just save those, just trying to stay
Yeah.
within
North goes down.
the rules of the,
Sure. The question is if all of the grades of the schools start at the same time of day.
right. So,
I believe for drop-off and pickup times, they're staggered, and so
Okay.
it's not everybody arriving at the same time and leaving. The applicant, of course, can speak
Sure.
further
And
to that. but-
that was kind of the crux of the question was,
Is there currently a school zone on that street, Sarah?
There is not. On Alpha, the speed limit is 30 right there, and the same for McEwen and Blue Lake. Our Public Works team has looked at this, and at this time, they don't identify a need for a school zone. That could always change in the future. They'll have to come back with a detailed site plan with a little bit more information, and then once the school starts operating, if there's a need for it at that point, it could be evaluated, but they looked at.
Who would bring that? Would that be the school bringing it to the city and asking for it, or would it be the city dictating to the school?
It could be either one.
There's no requirement for a traffic plan, is there?
Not a full-scale TIA for this development. Public Works was comfortable with the information they provided and the stacking on site for drop-off.
Does this involve new construction?
There are no external changes to the buildings. There's two existing buildings already
Yeah,
on site to be
okay.
utilized.
Okay.
Did they have any purpose for removing the parking spaces? Is that like a playground?
Yeah, so it was, there are two new playground areas, and then so the removal of those parking spaces were to make space for that. But they still meet the parking requirement minimum.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Post our
for
questions
staff?
we can save for
Yeah,
the-
for the applicant, okay.
It looks like the layout that they did for the traffic flow is actually pretty intelligent, because you come up, and turn off of Alpha, and then you enter the school off McEwen, and then you cycle all the way around the school, drop the kids off, and then exit onto Alpha.
Fix it back like this.
And, yeah, and so all the queuing takes place on the driveway, not on the street, unlike most other schools anywhere around the city.
Yeah. The entrance is as far from Alpha as you could get for this site, which is ideal.
Oh, and in the schematic, it shows a vacant lot that's under construction. Those are all garden-style apartments now.
Yeah, the Midway Urban Village
Yeah,
development.
that's really developed there.
I have a question. This is a general question about taxes, economic development, but I know that private schools can file an exemption with the state not to pay property taxes. But do we know, say for example, if the taxes on those current buildings are, I don't know, $5,000, who at the city looks at that and says, oh, we're gonna lose $5,000 in income if these people take this building, and we approve it? I mean, the reason this is general is because I'm looking at 64 or 68 new townhomes on the west side. What's the tax ramifications on the new townhomes? What is our anticipated income from that? Is that something we should know as part of your presentation?
So It's kind of a multi-part question.
Right.
The first answer, and I will confirm for you because I don't want to say the wrong thing as far as the tax exemption or that status for a private school. I can confirm that for you. I'm not sure.
I looked it up on the internet.
Gotta be true.
It's gotta be. So I'll confirm that for you. Obviously, DCAD certifies the taxable value and appraises the property, so we could look to that to see what they're paying now compared to, if that exemption
Right.
was in place. Certainly something we can look at. Typically, it wouldn't be part of the Planning and Zoning Commission consideration. City Council might be more appropriate to look at the financial impact. We're really just looking at land use and compatibility with the surrounding development and with the comprehensive plan. And so that's not something that has been considered for this proposal, but we could get you more information on it.
Well, it made me think of the townhomes.
Mhm.
Now, I'm curious about the economic impact for the townhomes. Because I'm assuming they're going to sell for $400,000 or $500,000.
They start at 5.
We're gonna start at 5.
Right.
How many square feet?
They haven't published that.
But
Yeah, and the townhome applicant will be here tonight as well, so they could give more information. But it's a good question. I can get you some more information and
So
follow up,
I'm just-
but it's,
I'm just asking for educational purposes.
Mm-hmm.
sure,
It's a very good question.
yeah.
The, so right now, in this PD, you can't put in a private school, right? So the question before this commission is, do we think that that's a legitimate use under the general scope of the PD?
Correct.
Especially given that there's a big school right across the street.
It's not a special use permit, is it?
No, it's a
No,
zoning.
the request is to add the use by right for the subject property within PD 90.
Okay.
For that property, not for everything in the PD, correct?
It would be attached to this conceptual site plan.
But just for-
For that subject.
For that site. So anybody else in that PD that wanted to put in a school would have to come back to
Yes,
this.
Go through this
Yes.
process, yeah.
exactly,
Okay,
yes, sir.
thank you.
So how does that determination, how is the determination made? Because we've had a couple come forward where instead of attaching the use to a specific use, we had to say, do we want it to add it to the whole table of use, and anybody, so the poker house was one, malls was another, and so we didn't look at a specific application, we looked at the general concept. Yet this one, it's a new use, and we're looking at it attached. So how are they different? Like, how do you decide which way things go through?
Absolutely, that's a great question. For uses like the mall and the poker rooms, those were uses that were not in our comprehensive zoning ordinance, in our CZO at all. They were not listed in our use table. This is a use that is listed in our comprehensive zoning ordinance. It's just not
Not in that
permitted within
PD.
the PD 90.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then to speak a little bit more to attaching it to a site plan, within PD 90, there is a conceptual master plan for the individual tracks. And with that, if any use wanted to come in, that whether it's on the CZO or within the PD, that's different from the conceptual master plan, they would have to come and amend that conceptual master plan for that as well.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, then moving on to A3, discuss agenda items for future planning and zoning commission meetings. Commissioners, anybody have anything? I would like to put one forward. So like when we were looking at this, and remembering that several years ago, we looked at the original, the west side, converting, changing it from a outdoor amphitheater to townhomes. And so I was kind of going online again and saying, where would I find that? And then I went to, the YouTube TV and, okay, where are the Planning and Zoning Commission? And it's a playlist. I guess I'm wondering if there's some level of training that we could get, like where
That defines things.
do we find things? Yeah, like, how do we, specifically, how do we go back and look at a 3-year ago something, how can we go,
That's actually,
educate ourselves?
That's a great idea. We can do a kind of an overview of a couple different resources that you could use to find information.
Right.
So-
But you're specifically asking about what was conducted in this?
Well, this is what led me to the ideas, because I couldn't find it. I remembered,
The original
the original
minutes meeting.
yeah, the plan, the
Why
presentation.
can't, if something comes back the second or the third time,
Mm-hmm.
why can't we get a link to go back to the first one? I mean,
You mean as,
like a link, like Brian sends us a link.
Mm-hmm.
We hit the link and it goes to today's meeting
Right.
agenda, et cetera. Why can't we have a link that will go back to the first meeting in
We're asking
2022?
Brian to do this research, so you can tell us where to go to.
Yeah.
Well, but how to get there? I
Yeah,
mean,
no, that's a valid
That's
question.
the
I
issue
think-
because
I think it's great if
I have a
something
hard
comes
time
up,
navigating.
You want to be able to research, well, what has been
Especially-
said on the past one?
Especially like we're looking at the plating of something that was approved in 2022. None of us, I don't think any of us were on the P and Z.
That was
during
on there.
that
So I remember it, but
You remember it.
but I couldn't find it, in my notes, so I went looking for it.
So whenever, in our staff reports, we try when possible to reference previous cases or the resolution number, whatever the approving document was for that change. So maybe the next step is to say, okay, here's the resolution number. Now what do you do with that? We can show you on the website where you can find anything tied to that number. You can search by address. There's a lot of different places that we could go to look. So we'll definitely bring that back and do sort of an overview of general training.
I
Well-
remember I had to write to you a month or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
How do I find the rules for a PD? I know
Right.
the PD number, but I can't find what its rules are.
Yes.
You help?
Yes, I think our interactive map is a great resource. It'll tell you the zoning of any property, if there are any specific use permits, any overlay districts. And then we have other resources like our plan development page. There's a certain amount of information in Laserfish that the city has available to search through. So meeting minutes, past resolutions and ordinances, all of those things are available online. So yeah, let's put together a kind of an initial overview, and then we can get into questions at that meeting. That sounds good.
Just have an extended study session one time.
Yes. Yeah. Start at 6 again instead of 6:30.
So all of the, what history is online? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's there somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Everything is,
It's maintained by Farmers Branch?
Mhm.
Okay.
yes, we keep records for all of our cases and organize them by case number and by ordinance or resolution number. It's all out there, but it's a great point. It can be a little bit overwhelming to figure out where to start.
Good.
Awesome.
All right, that's it. Then that ends our study session. It is 6:54 PM. We will reconvene at 7 o'clock downstairs in the chambers.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to the City of Farmers Branch Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. It is 7:04 on September 9th, 2024. I'd like to begin by thanking the commissioners for their service. Up first is citizen comments. This agenda item provides an opportunity for citizens to address the Planning and Zoning Commission on any matter that is not posted on the agenda. Anyone wishing to address the commission should complete a citizen comments registration form and submit it to the chairman prior to the start of the meeting. There is a 3-minute time limit for each citizen to speak, with a reasonable limitation on speakers on one topic or item, with a maximum of 15 total minutes on the same topic item. Anyone wishing to speak should be courteous and cordial. The Planning and Zoning Commission is not permitted to take action on any subject raised by a speaker during citizen comments. However, the Planning and Zoning Commission may have the item placed on a future agenda for action, refer the item to the Director of Planning for further study or action, briefly state existing city policy, or provide a brief statement of factual information in response to the inquiry. And I was told that we might have a citizen comment and to see if that person is here. Is there, but I don't see anybody. So, okay. All right, so I guess we will move on then. Up next is item C1, nomination and election of the chair and vice chair of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and take appropriate action. And do we have any nominations for?
I'll nominate Amber Rowley as the chair.
I will second that.
Any discussion? Okay, then we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of nominating Chair Raley as the commissioner, please raise your hand. And that is unanimous. Great. And any nominations for vice chair?
Yes, I nominate you, Marcus.
Okay. Thank you. We have a second.
I second it.
All right, any discussion? All right, let's move to a vote. All those in favor? And again, it is unanimous. Great, so we can move on. Up next is item C2, consider approval of the August 12th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission minutes and take appropriate action. We had this, we talked about it in the study session, had no changes. And so again, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Chairman, I move that we accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, then all those in favor of approving the minutes? Okay, again, unanimous. All right, up next is item C3, consider the request for a replat approval of Mercer Crossing Townhomes, blocks B through E, for approximately 6.28 acres of land located at the southeast corner of Whittington Place and Chartwell Crest, and take appropriate action.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Miller. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Brian Campbell, Senior Planning Technician here to present to you the replat for the Mercer Crossing Townhomes. So this is a 6.28 acre site located at the southeast corner of Whittington Place and Chartwell Crest. It's zoned Plan Development District number 99. So the purpose of this replat is for the dedication of 69 residential townhome lots and 3 common area lots, and to dedicate the necessary easements and infrastructure related to the townhome development. The detailed site plan for this development was approved back in September of 2022, and that last bullet point there just breaks down the various blocks and lot numbers. So this is the proposed replat. With that, that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those, and the applicant is here as well to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions for staff? Okay, how about any questions for the applicant? Yes? No? Nothing? Okay. Then we'll consider motions.
I move that we approve the plat as submitted.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Any further discussion? All right, then all those in favor? All right, it is unanimous.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, up next is item D1, conduct a public hearing and consider the request for a zoning amendment for a private school, primary and secondary, on approximately 2.79 acres located at 4000 McEwen Road within the Planned Development District Number 90, PD 90 zoning district, and take appropriate action. Lily?
Good evening, Commissioners. Lily Sutton, planner. Tonight, we're going to be discussing 4000 McEwen Road for a zoning amendment. The property is located within PD 90. The applicant is requesting the addition of a primary school use, or a private school, primary and secondary, as the permitted use on this lot. There are 2 existing buildings on the north and south, and the applicant is proposing no changes to the exterior of these buildings. A special exception is requested to allow for the fence to be in what would be considered the front setback. Because this property has frontage on 3 streets, we find this to be a reasonable request. So the applicant is proposing, like I said, to keep the 2 existing 2-story office buildings consistent on the exterior. They are proposing the removal of some paved areas and in some parking spaces in order to make space for more landscaping and play areas. They are still meeting the quota and the requirement for the educational use for the parking spaces. The comprehensive plan does designate this property as mixed use on the future land use map, and educational use is consistent with what we would want to see in this area. And with that, I will answer any questions, and the applicant is here to answer questions as well.
Any questions for staff?
Sorry, I thought of a question I didn't think of sooner. The presentation said it was for primary and secondary, but all the materials we saw showed that this was just going to be a primary up to 6th or 8th grade. So are they just trying to leave themselves an opportunity to expand it up to high school age students? I'm confused on that.
Absolutely. That's a great question. As it's listed within our comprehensive zoning ordinance, it's listed as private school, primary, or secondary. It does give them the option and flexibility for either, but the applicant does not have to do both, if that makes sense. But the use itself is under primary and secondary.
So under the zoning, they'll have the option to take it up to high school down the road?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, and the applicants are here, is that correct? And
Yes,
if you'd like to come forward and present anything, or I believe that some commissioners have questions for the applicant. So if you would step forward and give your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is John Arnold. As I told you, my address, 4420 Bryn Mawr, Dallas, Texas, 75225. I'm a parent at PHPS. I know not much of material had really said primary, secondary, private school. Y'all might have got this already, but I wanted to hand y'all just so we're sure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. As I said, I'm going to have Dr. Bell, our director, come up and kind of tell you all about the school, but I'm a parent, has been working on this project for our relocation. We're currently in Preston Hollow Presbyterian School, but that building's kind of under disrepair. We look at this as there's a major repairs that need to be made. We'd have to leave for multiple years. We're looking at this as an opportunity for the school to grow. Currently, I have one son there, a daughter that recently graduated from there, came there with dyslexia in about first grade, couldn't read or write. She's been a great success story like so many other kids. She just left, got accepted to St. Rita and is flourishing. There's so many success stories like this, and it's a great place, and I'm going to let Dr. Bell tell you all about it.
Hi, Nicole Bell. I had no idea I was going to actually be presenting anything. I thought I was answering questions. So our school is a school for children with learning differences. So primarily, we serve students with dyslexia, dysgraphia, and other written language disorders. The school has had this mission for 60 years, and our goal is to remediate learning differences and then return students to a mainstream learning environment. We currently go through 6th grade. We would maybe consider going through 8th grade so that we can serve more of our students. But the move would allow us to possibly consider adding a 7th and 8th grade, and it also will allow us to be in a building that doesn't need so much repair. So, do you have any questions? Can I offer more information that I'm leaving out?
When do y'all anticipate moving?
Ideally, it would be next August, so August of 2025, assuming we could get everything accomplished we need to.
What is the current enrollment of the school, and what is the anticipated maximum enrollment?
So currently, we have 124. We're budgeted to go up to 130. So that would definitely be our goal. I don't anticipate we would have that immediately with a move, but that would be our goal.
And you don't have plans to go above 6th grade?
We don't currently, but we would like the opportunity to possibly be able to do that.
I was just curious, the buildings are not going to change, and the sky bridge that connects them is still going to be there. Do you have to do a lot of internal remediation to convert it from an office building to a school in terms
Yes.
of classrooms, bathrooms, cafeteria, all that cool stuff?
Yes, we will definitely have to do some retrofitting. Yes,
That's why it takes a year.
yes. Fingers crossed.
Has anybody here at the city staff offered to help you guys or be on call or?
I've been working with staff mostly, myself and Andy, our architect. Staff's been great. We called them up with kind of our need. This building came to us randomly. We spent about 9 months, we're at 9 months now, but the notice that we needed to move came in February, and we spent about 4 months looking for buildings. Could not find anything that could fit us at this moment. I know many people that actually do this for a living, look to transfer schools, and our need was immediate. This came to us because currently it's an empty office building with no plans for a tenant, and the owner, I'm not really sure what they're going to do with it when that tenant, they're just kind of collecting rent right now, and it's vacant. One of our parents happened upon it, and second we found it, we called staff, and they were very willing to work with us and help us out with our goal to get here today.
Are you guys going to purchase the property or lease it?
We're going to purchase the property.
Okay.
We're under contract to purchase it right now.
There's a big for lease sign in front of it right now.
There is a big for lease sign in front of it right now, but we just went under contract recently. It's been a long process.
Well, it sounds like it's a good fit to me. I mean, I know the property. I've lived here 35 years and driven past it forever.
Yeah, it fits our purposes, perfectly. We're planning on taking out some of the parking lot, putting a couple open spaces. It has enough room for stacking. We can kind of get off the main roads, and it's kind of pretty back there. So,
Yeah, it sounds like a good fit.
and with all the development around us, the brand new development, it really, could be a great fit.
Where do most of your students come from?
I would say we're 50 to 60% kind of Preston Hollow, Highland Park, then northern, here in North Dallas. We anticipate probably some of that shifting a little bit as we move up here and we're possibly grow. So.
That's good. Okay.
I was just recreationally, right across the street, there's a really nice jogging trail that goes
There
all
is,
the way around
yeah.
the college there.
My wife and I spent this weekend, we were coming up here for a event for our kids' school, and I got the time wrong, so we had 30 minutes to kill. So we actually parked the car here and walked the trail and looked at the college, and she had actually worked there like 15 years ago for United to Learn or something that she was working with, and we drove the college. She goes, "This is amazing. It looks completely different than it did. It really, the campus looks really, really great." So.
Is that something you might be able to leverage, you think, for the students for activities, or?
That would actually, we could. And also, we're right there by so many of the schools that our kids go to. We're 3 or 4 minutes from St. Rita and Jesuit and Ursuline, and we're right down the street from Parish. Those are a lot of the schools that our kids go to because they offer kind of same learning difference programs for our kids. So we actually have the head of Parish on our board for our school. So it's kind of nice to be close to where those kids are going to go.
Any further questions? I just have one on there. Could you bring up the map overhead showing the queuing lane of the cars, or is that in this one? I guess we don't.
I have an additional slide with the lane called out.
Yeah, so is that queuing from north to south so that it's emptying onto Alpha, or does it queue north where it empties onto Blue Lake Circle? Like, which direction is that?
Absolutely. So the entry is off of Blue Lake, and then the exit is off of Alpha.
And so just, I mean, do y'all have any concern at all about Alpha being such a busy road, and it's that curve right there? Do y'all have any concerns there at all about, the traffic on Alpha?
This will actually, as a parent dropping their kids off every morning, this will be a relief. We're currently on Preston Road and Walnut Hill.
Okay.
So in the morning, this will be a welcome relief. Alpha is nothing compared to what we have right now. And that stacking line is very similar to what we have currently. We stack in a church parking lot, 2 lanes, and this might actually be longer than what we stack in currently. And I know that we have release in the afternoons staggered. Some of the younger kids go earlier, older kids stay late. Then there's after-school programs, study hall, homework club, and a lot of after-school programs that happen at the school. Kids in the morning, they open up playgrounds early in the morning, so kids come for like 45 minutes. So we really don't have a congestion problem. I do car line once a week for the kids, and we have 25 cars there, max in the mornings at a time. So I don't see any issue. I think this will be a welcome relief for everybody.
Okay. All right, do we have any additional questions? This is a public hearing, so it's an opportunity for citizen comments. I've not received any forms and don't see anybody who's queued up. So I guess at this point, we'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing portion.
I move we close the public hearing.
I second it.
Okay, any discussion? If not, then we'll vote to close the public hearing. All in favor? To close the public hearing? Okay, it is unanimous. And with that, now we will entertain motions concerning the application.
I would motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous? It's a unanimous evening today, so thank you. Okay, so I think that takes us to the end of our meeting. It is 7:24 p.m.